really, once this deal is finalized, it's time to get to work. Time to get to work on a new stadium, figuring out who in the front office you're going to keep and help run the show, and maybe spending some money.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Captain Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
We're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
So grab your favorite Rays gear and settle in as we discuss the Rays sale getting closer and closer and becoming legitimate. Plus, an update on the Home Run Derby that occurred last night and the All-Star game taking place this evening. Lots to discuss.
But first we got to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year.
All right, the worst kept secret in baseball, evidently, as the Tampa Bay Rays will be sold from Stu Sternberg to Jacksonville-based developer Patrick Zalupski. Say that 5 times fast. For approximately $1.7 billion. The deal has been agreed in principle, according to The Athletic and other sources, and it could close as soon as September 2025, pending MLB approval. Quick caveat here, we are dealing with Stu Sternberg, so as much as we thought that a stadium deal would be up and running, that obviously fell through. So until it's ultimately signed, sealed, delivered, and there's a press conference, maybe even takes more than that. I think it's ultimately going to happen, but you never know with Stu Sternberg and company. I'm just throwing that out there.
It really does feel like. Did you ever watch Charlie Brown growing up?
Very small bits and pieces.
It's like Lucy with the football.
Right. The football analogy.
Yeah, it's that same thing, man. It's like, God, this is the real time. And then Lucy is Lucy and then takes the football away. Hopefully not. It does seem, again, but we all thought St. Pete deal was. Right. It seems like it's going to get done. But this, again, it's on the track of, quote unquote, getting it done. We just have to see it, right? After so many ifs and buts and all that. But before it can be agreed, just a foundational knowledge here. MLB must vet the group. So 75% of the owners must approve of the sale. 75% of 30 is 22.5. So around 23 of the owners have to say, yes, we agree to this. But we have heard earlier this year that owners and Manfred were kind of pushing Stu to sell.
Right.
So it seems like that wouldn't even be an issue if they're told, hey, if we're told that the owners are saying, hey, Stu, you should probably sell. When he's selling, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, well, not to that guy. Right. It seems like it would be like more of a, yes, please, thank you, get out. Here's your $1.7 billion. It was nice knowing you, Stu.
Yeah, I think that because Stu made everybody look bad with the stadium deal falling through. And just as an aside, MLB owners probably aren't happy with the Rays on a general basis because they continue to faucet from the revenue sharing that is, and they more or less whip everybody's butts on a low payroll. So they're probably ready for a change and an adjustment there. But I think the Zalupski guy brings a good resume. He's on the younger side of things, just 44 years old. So I'd imagine.
Kevin, he's 44, so he's about a decade older than us,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild because I don't think our collective reported net worth is of 1.3 billion like Zalupski. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
where was
I don't
that
think
taught
we
in
get
business
there.
class? How we can be 44 and be worth 1.3 billion dollars. What
Must
what
be
did we
nice.
do wrong
Yeah.
here? I guess we
Yeah.
have to become a developer and build homes. That's all it takes in a high growth area like Jacksonville. But I think Zalupski brings a good resume, a good pedigree. He's got, it's not just him. There is a group of other individuals
Yeah.
behind him and steering him, guys who um, are well known in the, I guess, wealth field, if you will, and guys who have some sports experience with,
Yeah.
operating minor league teams and so forth. So really, once this deal is finalized, it's time to get to work. Time to get to work on a new stadium, figuring out who in the front office you're going to keep and help run the show, and maybe spending some money here and there on free agents or existing players. Because if you look at all the articles that have come out about this sale and imminent sale, one of the footnotes is that the Rays consistently rank in the bottom of payroll. I don't think they've been above 22nd ever, and for the vast majority of seasons it's been in the bottom 3. We're
Yes.
talking about, we're in the same category as the Marlins, in the Athletics, and teams of that ilk. Now, the Rays have been able to win games with that, but at some point you have to be able to take the next step if your ideation is winning a championship or two, or consistently year in, year out, making the playoffs without having to do a rebuild or retool.
And there are two of the biggest two concerns that a Rays fan should have of this sales, the ownership changing with the sale, is one, will this stadium be built in Tampa or St. Petersburg? They've already said that apparently they prefer Tampa, right? And number two, will they keep the front office moving as it is? And that's not just only not meddling, but the payroll. How is the payroll going to be affected? And I think we should talk about that, Kev. But first, we got to tell folks something very important on the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ever wish managing your money felt easier? Well, with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning that big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money, it's more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. We all like that, right? So go ahead, take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. All right, Ulysses, you mentioned it and alluded to it. It does seem like the Rays building in Tampa and not St. Petersburg seems to be the strong preference and seems to be generating some scuttlebutt. If you read some of the comments from Hillsborough County Commissioner Ken Hagan and Tampa Mayor Jane Castor, of course, I'm sure St. Petersburg and Pinellas County want a seat at the table, but I think there's an opportunity to foster new relationships and ultimately get a deal done. Now, the question is, where in Tampa will it be built? Is it Ybor City or somewhere else? And I don't know how far the conversation, if the conversation has gotten that far, but I will tell you, with the incoming lease agreement ending at the Trop, like day one, I feel like this new ownership group really needs to start making the rounds, because they're going to be running out of time unless they're able to perhaps extend the lease agreement on Tropicana Field, which I don't know if St. Petersburg or Pinellas County really wants to do if they want to move forward with the historic gas plant district sans baseball.
Yeah, I don't think that would be their number one option, especially knowing that the Rays ownership might be looking to go to Hillsborough County. But I think the revenue would be attractive enough to swallow that bullet. Maybe not. Maybe they're opposed to it, but I feel like that's something that we covered with Colleen, that like it can be extended year per year,
Right.
given this situation. So if that were the case, man, you're right. You have to be on it on day one. Like, this is our plan. And they've already met with Tampa Mayor Jane Castor. And obviously, if you are a new group, you have new blood, you have new relationships, maybe you have a little bit more power / rapport
Right.
with political powerhouses, not only within the Tampa Bay area, but the Florida in the national stage, that you can really get things done. And that could be the case for Zalupski and company, where they have some backing in the political spheres that Stu either never really had, or B, had and damaged.
Right.
So this is something that they could do. And if they put it, I mean, you know me, man, I am all about Ybor. I think that would be fantastic. It would make my driving much, much easier.
Yes.
And I think it would just add something really cool to the area, where if you're friends with Daryl Shaw, who has seemingly started to buy up all the land down there in Ybor, well, maybe Shaw and Zalupski can come up with something very interesting here.
Yeah. And I mean, this is Zalupski's business, is building, construction, development. So he knows all the ins and outs. It's not like there's going to be a learning curve. Whereas, Stu Sternberg made his fortune hedge funds, not necessarily boots on the ground and how to develop land. So I feel like that gives Zalupski a little bit of an edge up. Now it's going to be, do you do Ybor City? Do you do the fairgrounds? Do you do the Jefferson High School site? Do you do Sulphur Springs? Do you do Tampa Park Apartments? Do you do somewhere else? But I think you made a good point, because in reading some of the articles and following some of the press clippings, Zalupski is a Florida-based guy. So I think that has really helped him make inroads throughout the state. My understanding is he's pretty tight with the governor, or at least has some sort of relationship with the governor, which of course carries some weight on its own. So it seems to me that he is savvy in the political sphere, in the political realm, whereas Stu Sternberg was more like, I guess, Mark Zuckerberg in dealing with people. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it. And I think the fact of just being a Florida guy worth a $1.3 billion, you're gonna know the people here.
Yeah.
You can be worth what Stu was worth when he bought the team, but he was from New York, so that's a different type of sphere, and it's not really going to give you a lot of power down here. Give you some, of course. How could it not? But not what you need to do. And you mentioned something, I like that a lot. The fact that he's a real estate guy, you need a stadium. Like, it really wouldn't be that far-fetched to think that he can get something done rather quickly, or at least smoother than what we've seen with Stu. But what Stu's strength, and this is being a glass half full person, Stu's strength was getting the right people in the front office, letting go, and having that mentality of using the players as assets, selling at high value, getting stocks, quote stocks, or players in this case, at a lower value, and then try to regain that value within your team. Like, that's just playing stocks with baseball players, right?
Right.
with Zalupski, if his strength is real estate, then we should be really looking forward to, hey, this guy's background can really help us with the stadium, can really make something really great happen for us. And so that then we go back to the beginning. The concern here is, can Zalupski do what he does best, which is real estate, but also do what Stu did with best, which is let go. Don't become a Jerry Jones. Don't become a Jim Crane, and start to meddle.
Yeah.
Within the front office.
Can you thread that perfect needle? We have more to discuss on this, but first we have to tell the audience something very important that is next on the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, let's tell you about Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. That is Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House. It is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 of the top brands, actually more than 400 of the top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Whether you're in California or Florida, they can deliver it. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. That's what we like nowadays, even with AI and all that stuff. Supply House, thousands of skilled professionals. They're already taking advantage, and now it is your turn. Go ahead, join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is at supplyhouse.com. Now, again, we don't know. It's way too early to tell whether the new ownership group will be meddling in baseball operations and day-to-day dealings and so forth. We won't know until a year or a couple years from now. I guess my concern is you could, as all this is going on and there's the uncertainty of what a new ownership group could bring, you might have other teams trying to poach an Eric Neander or Matt Silverman or, a fill in the blank. Now I'm sure these guys all have contracts and have things worked out, but that would be my issue, is that, at the end of the season, teams start poaching guys left and right, whether it's somebody that's known, a figurehead type like a Neander, or, some of the back office analytic guys that nobody's heard of, but make a solid, tremendous impact in one way or another.
Or, assistants to the general managers, or, something that might be working with less of a spotlight, but still have tremendous push and influence within the front office. Yeah, you're right. That could definitely be a thing to worry about. I think the issue with the front office here, with the new ownership, without the meddling thing, is, let's say you get the stadium built.
Okay.
And it's great and it's lovely and okay. Do we really think that a team that is being sold for $1.7 billion from somebody who has a reported net worth of $1.3 billion, obviously he's got more people, so then the group itself has more than that money. They have to build the stadium, so that's going to be money out of their pocket. Do we really see an increase in payroll that heavy? Like,
yeah,
I don't think so, man. Like, maybe this is being completely way too negative to close the show, but look, I don't think we're also either asking too much here as Tampa. Most Rays fans, I think, would be happy to look, if we're a $90 million payroll, $80 million payroll, can we get it to 110?
Yeah.
I don't think as a whole Rays fan, the average Rays fan is not thinking I need a 200 million. Like
That's not happening.
that's not happening, and I don't think that's what we're asking. We're just asking, can we be a little bit more competitive on the payroll? Can we be a little bit more like the Milwaukee Brewers?
Right.
Can we?
Run it a little bit more like a fan and not just a profit driving engine, which again,
Yes.
that's look, Stu, I'm sure wanted to win, but ultimately, I think he used it as an investment vehicle. I mean, we see that he bought the team for $200 million in 2004, and now he's going to make his investment 8 times over. Where Zalupski, you're right. I mean, again, I don't know how much money and finances these other individuals he has with him, Ken Babby and Bill Cosgrove and so on and so forth. But it does seem that if he has a reported net worth of 1.3 and the team is being purchased for 1.7, he might be house poor when it comes to a baseball team. So
Or maybe like the Babby and the other in the group is like, oh well, we really have a collective here of 5 billion, and so I don't know.
yeah,
It just makes you wonder with the numbers here. Again, I think the normal race fan is not asking for 180, 200 million. Would it be nice? Yeah, I think it would be nice, because then it would be nice because it means that a Freddie Freeman gets to say yes here.
right.
That would be cool. That would be cool to have a Freddie Freeman guy, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Uh, and with a new stadium, you can have a little bit more influence. You can have a little bit more power of saying, "Hey, no, this is the place to be." It's
And if you
very
do it right, like the battery model in Atlanta, you don't have to just rely on games being played to use that area as a revenue driving situation.
so you're saying a real estate guy could do a really cool thing with real estate outside the stadium, Kev. I like where your
Yeah.
head at.
So yeah, I think look, I think
Are you happy about this? Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm happy because again, with Stu, nothing was going to happen with a new stadium in St. Petersburg or Tampa. I think really the only option would be to get another city out of state to get hoodwinked by, that doesn't have a Major League Baseball team. We'll do whatever it takes to get. We'll foot the bill 80-90% to get it to Nashville or to get it to San Antonio or to get it to Charlotte, whatever it may be. So I think this is huge for keeping. I mean, yes, we can talk about payroll till we're blue in the face, but the big denominator, the big key here is keeping this franchise in the Tampa Bay area.
Yes.
I think that's number one. If you
That's
can
number
do
one.
that, we can work on the rest. Now, I know there were some comments. Look, we've seen some positive comments from politicians, but there's also been some, I don't want to say negative comments, but skeptical comments or comments in the arena of, hey, I'm not a big fan of subsidizing billionaires and subsidizing new stadiums and things like that. Well, that's just the way the business is run. That's what you have to do in order to keep or lure a Major League Baseball team or an NFL team or a hockey team or a basketball team. It's just like you want to get a new manufacturing facility that makes vehicles in Alabama. Well, you're going to have to offer some subsidies and tax breaks and waive building permits. You're going to have to, in a way, offer some sort of economic incentive to get things done. Otherwise, nothing will get done.
It seems like in 2025 we've completely missed the definition or the difference in definitions between utopia and the real world.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would love to live in a world where billionaires don't get subsidized for their stadiums. I would love to live in that. Hey, let's all go there.
Yeah.
Wait, I wake up, it's the real world. That's not going to happen. Just
Right.
like a third party in the United States in the political sphere is not going to happen. It's just
Yes.
not going to. Yeah, we can all dream of it, and that would be great to have more of an option than blue or black or tall and small, and have a little bit of more of a gray area. That would be great. but we don't have it. It's the real world. I feel like with you, I am happy about these news because Stu wasn't going to get anything done. We heard all the quotes from Ken Welch basically saying, don't talk to me about that man ever again. Basically,
persona non grata.
just
So
don't even put him on a picture in front of me. So that's done. September 2025. This is kind of cool and kind of odd because if this team starts to get a little bit better and make it a little bit of a race in September, we could have a situation where this team is playoff chasing plus the sale with the impending sale right there on the same time. So it's going to be a crazy September for us Rays fans.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not a distraction for the players. I mean, I know that, Mark Topkin and others are going to ask questions, but ultimately it's out of their control. I mean, their job is to go take batting practice, to work on their slider, to work out, stay healthy, travel from ballpark to ballpark, and play the game. I mean, I kind of get the impression from a lot of these players, like, that's not my pay grade. I don't need to worry about that. All I need to do is play baseball and play my best. And, whoever the man is at the top, so be it. I'm sure we'll meet, we'll introduce, we'll chat. But, other than that, I'm just going to go out and do my thing and try to win games in the dog days of summer.
The only player that I would see being really affected by this and actually like giving you quotes would be a guy like Brett Phillips, if he were like, a mainstay, like a guy that has been growing as a Devil Rays fan, then a Rays fan, and then now plays for the team. Like that type of player, I would see them giving you really good quotes more than the usual, hey, we just got to do our thing. But we don't have that guy within the Rays team. So.
Yep. So there we go. Put it in the comments what you think of the likely new owner, Patrick Zalupski. Happy, unhappy, indifferent? Wait to see. Just want to see some of the comments there. And if you have a mailbag question, feel free to let us know. LockedOnRays@gmail.com. You can type it in, or you can send us a voice memo. All that and more. In the meantime, thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Local analysis brought to you on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on the YouTubes or wherever you listen to those podcasts.